again. We're live.
No.
See, that's why we don't do rehearsals, because you can't pre-script lightning in a bottle moments like that.
Saying, man. Moment
Gotta come early.
Oh.
Okay, good. Now.
Right. Okay. I'm going to count from 5 and then start the show. So, is everybody ready? You got your recording stuff up?
Yeah, at 0 is when I start, or when you're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press
yeah,
or
5, 4,
play
3, 2,
or whatever.
1,
and then,
go. And
yeah, go. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Game That Tune.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, everybody? It's Game That Tune back in the house once again. It's ya boy, John Harrington here. We got John Regan with us. Say hey.
Hey.
We got Jesse Moore. Say hey.
Hey.
We've got David Fleming. Say hey.
Hey.
And we have a very special guest on tonight's episode. What a guest it is. Host of the much more popular than this podcast, Legacy Music Hour video game music podcast. Is that the earliest, first video game music podcast? Are we
It could be the first one.
I think so. Yeah. The fantastic
2010s. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If there's podcast content prior to that covering video game music strictly, then I'm definitely not aware of it. We've got Brent WEINBACH from the Legacy Music Hour with us. Hi, Brent. Say hey.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Awesome of you to slum it with us, man. I'm so glad that you're here. Because
it's always fun to talk video game music. But I'm sorry to cut you off. Man.
Oh no, please! I'm just doing my usual intro. I was going to say, usually I say, oh, if you're just joining us, and it's Brent is just joining us. I can address all this explanation of the show to him. It seems organic. It's fantastic. It's because it's a complicated show. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
It's there's microphones and headphones.
Exactly
all kinds of technology.
5 men hanging out, listening to music, trying to guess each other's games based on the songs. We do a little bit of trivia. That's the real twist. We give a trivia hint. I mean, integrating music and trivia.
I have questions about what kind of trivia you want in that regard, but we'll get to that when I guess we get to it.
Of course.
I'm gonna interrupt real quick. Brent, I'm getting some static when you speak. Am I the only one hearing that?
I hear it too.
I hear it.
Let me see. Are you still hearing static right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. That's weird. Yeah, I'm not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still hearing static. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me try unplugging and plugging back in and see what happens here.
Okay. Sweet.
I was about to say, Johnny's got his conversation pen. Something's up.
Might allow me to interject pen.
Okay, so how about now? How does this sound?
That sounds pretty
Better.
good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. There's one thing that needs to be done. No, sorry. That was, you might have been hearing me from my computer microphone. It has things changed.
Yeah.
How about now?
This is
sounds better.
significantly
Loud and
better.
clear.
Yeah.
There's one other thing that I need to do here. Let me see here. Sorry. This is live right now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But see, this is great. This is the beauty.
It's just
Usually
real,
we start at the show with Johnny fucking something up. So
This
for
is
you
some
to
real
do it, it's
exciting stuff.
takes the pressure off of us, man. It's great.
It's like you're practically a member of Game That Tune.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's clearly a veteran podcaster. He's he's messing something up and correcting it on the fly. It's fantastic.
Don't steal my job, Brent. That's what this is what I do.
I want to upstage you guys in every possible way, even as far as messing up goes. I'm the king of messing up. I'm trying to establish that. Why is this? Let me just check this one thing here. Okay, keep talking again.
Hey.
Yep. How we doing? Yeah.
Does it sound
It's so
good?
weird. Why is it doing that? It's not. Well, yeah, I'm not sure why, but I'm hearing your guys' audio not into my headphones, but coming out of the mic. Let me try one other thing here. I know this is so exciting for people watching right now.
Oh, it's great. They're used to it.
Peek behind the curtain.
I just don't quite get that. Here, let me try one other thing. Let me try a couple different things here.
It'll be edited out of the audio.
Feel free to talk amongst yourselves, but anyway, I'll figure it out eventually. Yeah, this is me, and this is how I sound, and I hope that sounds okay. And even though it's weird why I'm not hearing.
Do we sound okay to you? That's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Actually, the worst thing is this whole time I haven't been. Since I unplugged, I haven't been recording my audio, but that's okay. Hopefully, you're recording my audio as a backup too.
We have backups, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna unplug one more time, actually, real quick.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Because I just want to, I want to get your guys' audio coming into my microphone here. I mean, into my headphone.
Right.
This, you know what? This is perfect. You guys, you said you get this kind of stuff. Usually, there's like stuff to figure out or whatever. And
well, yeah, I mean, because we have a complicated opeperation here. We stream to multiple platforms, and draw such a huge audience doing it that we do a lot of worthwhile tech stuff on John's end, and we end up like fucking up and wasting the first 15 minutes of every show. So we're really on track. I'm telling you,
this is like it's part of the initiation. It's the initiation process.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's like you've been a part of this since the beginning.
No, it's serendipitous. It really is.
I mean, technically, like you've been in our hearts for 201 episodes, so you kind of have been part of the show.
Mm-hmm. Not that one episode, though. Since it's episode 203, there was one episode where we were pissed.
Yeah.
What happens would it be cool if I left and came right back, or what?
Yeah.
Hop in. I'm
gonna just do that.
I love it.
Come back.
I was just gonna say, it's like, let me just slide out and go to the bathroom.
I just I need to get something from my car. Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, good. He came back.
Yay.
Okay. Here we go. No, it's not. Now I'm hearing you guys correctly. But let me start recording again.
Sweet.
Cool.
Good.
I just started recording. I mean, hopefully it won't be too hard to sync up,
I am a very professional editor who syncs
here I
things.
am.
Yes. So with all that,
I'm not sounding I'm not sounding staticky or anything anymore.
Sound great.
No, you sound good.
Good. Okay.
So we listen to video game music. We do trivia. We guess each other's games based on the songs and the trivia. We goof off and have a lot of fun. Whoever wins the show picks the theme for the next episode. And our winner last week was it was me. And our theme for this week's episode is a theme near and dear to my heart. 16-bit games. We're gonna, take it back to probably the greatest of console generations. I think, arguably.
Yeah. I would agree.
The debate rages on, but that's why we brought in a ringer like Brent to tell us.
I would argue in favor of that. That indeed the 16-bit era is the best era. I mean,
hell yeah, man. I recently saw Brent. Not to put your activities out there for everybody, but I saw you on another Twitch stream doing some video game music guessing, and I realized we got to get this guy, man. He's like a chiptune expert. This guy, he was kind of kicking ass on that stream, and it comes with the territory after doing 200 something podcast episodes.
Yeah. No, it's like. I mean, especially even before I started doing my podcast, I thought I knew a lot about video game music, and and then after doing the podcast for a few years, I realized, wow, there's so much more I didn't know about, and now I really know a lot. And then after doing it for 10 years, it's like, I mean, I'm the master.
Yeah. Exactly. When somebody needs the video game music guy, they call you. They don't call us, so it's fine. We're getting there.
But I mean, I'm sure you guys. We'll see what happens. You probably stump me. By the way, the tracks I picked, I didn't purposely pick. I didn't pick them from a game that is purposely obscure. I just picked I mean, is not a. I mean, I shouldn't say this probably because I'm kind of giving a hint, but it's not very well known. But it happens to just be good. They're good tracks. That's why I picked them.
That's always that's one of the big qualifiers. Like, you know, if you don't love the game, pick the game with the best tunes is a big policy around here. It's been the guiding policy for Johnny for like 180 episodes since he ran out of games that he actually played.
I have actually played this game too, but yeah, I'll get into that later.
Oh, very good. That's change of pace for this show.
Way better than Johnny.
Yeah, man, he's coming for you, John. So we've normally we do 3 songs from each game, but I thought that in the interest of having an expert like Brent on the show, I think Johnny, is there anything we could do to like tweak the game a little bit, put it in hard mode, take it maybe down to 2 songs a game? Is that complicated? Does that fuck up your settings at all?
Let me see what I can do here. Hold on. I think I just have to turn this knob.
This game's winner is.
God, you totally fucked everything
That's
up.
not.
Wrong sound.
Okay.
Oh, there's that knob.
There we go. I think it's doing it. Oh. That beep's not good.
Johnny, that sounds bad.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Is the stream coming down?
I think we broke it. Oh, it's fine.
Oh wait, no,
Okay,
that sounds good.
All right, we're good to go.
So we can do it then.
Yes.
The game is now in hard mode. We'll only be doing 2 songs per game.
We're now playing in hard mode.
Cool, man. And fucking up the soundboard still. It's a perfect episode of Game That Tune so far. So yeah, Johnny, let's just hop to it, man. What do we got for our first game?
Game 1. David, do you have some trivia?
I was going to say, so are we doing the trivia in between the 2 songs? Okay.
Yeah.
I do have trivia for this. So in 1997, Electronic Gaming Monthly listed the TurboGrafx-16 version of this game, which is what we're listening to, as number 50 on its 100 best games of all time list.
Number what? Did you say?
Sorry.
Number 50, 50.
Number 50. Okay, got it. I'm not that I'm trying to look that up or anything.
Oh, he's got his magazines out.
I know, even for myself, I like to try to get stuff without. I mean, I don't look stuff up.
And Brent, I realized I forgot to tell you one thing of the game. You probably need something to write on because we like write our answers down. And show them to the
okay,
camera.
yeah. Let me
Jesus
let me
God.
go do that.
We got a
yeah.
central tenet of the show. Writing things down.
Well, while he's going to get something to write down, I'm going to get something to drink.
Hurry!
All right,
He's going to be gone for 3 minutes and miss the Mission Impossible theme song again.
He doesn't come back.
Can't leave when you're presenting your own fucking game.
I'm fucking up the lease tonight. I'm so excited.
Okay, show's not over yet.
Yeah. Narrow margin, though, man. John, it's still close. Awesome.
Sorry, what was that, John?
I was saying we're doing awesome tonight. Everybody's fucked up in some way. It's great.
Hey, what did I do?
You know, I don't know, Jesse, but we'll just see.
Yeah, nice.
If you don't mess up, that's you messing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
you're getting
the norm is
disqualified.
to mess up. You have to mess up. That's part of the. That's what you're supposed to do.
All right. So, who has those guesses / answers / anything else you want to write down?
I'm still thinking. Oh, hold on. So. Oh, you guys are already doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put what I was writing, even though I think I'm wrong here. But I mean, I think I'm wrong here, but
All right. So, it looks like
and I think
Brent
Jesse's right.
says Soldier Blade.
Yeah.
John says Bunk's Extra Rad Adventure. John Harrington says Blazing Lasers. And Jesse says Devil's Crush.
I think
Everyone
Jesse's
has a
right.
different answer, but only Jesse is correct.
Yeah, no, I actually have this game too. Actually, this is one of the few TurboGrafx 16 games I have. Actually,
Awesome.
I'm sorry, Johnny. Jesse is correct.
Oh. Forgot my sound.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, this is Devil's Crush. Specifically, this is the TurboGrafx version and not the Genesis version.
The difference
Yeah.
being?
Well, the Genesis version has additional music from earlier games made by the developer, but it also uses the Genesis sound chip, and I like the TurboGrafx sound chip much better.
Yeah. Genesis sound chip can get a little farty sometimes. I could see it going a little wild on this one.
I was gonna maybe put Blazing Lasers, even though I didn't think that was correct. But
I followed my usual procedure for these things of Googling best TurboGrafx 16 games, and Blazing Lasers had the coolest sounding name as I scrolled through the list. So it was also very high on the list, being Blazing.
oh, so you are allowed to look things up.
I mean, I did a light Googling. I was not going to Google like Electronic Gaming Monthly 1997 top 100 games of all time.
Right.
But a light Googling to remind me of games on the TurboGrafx 16 because I was not a bougie kid and did not own a TurboGrafx 16. Therefore, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pinball game. I mean, I like I said. I mean, I don't have that many TurboGrafx 16 games, but this is one of the few games I have, and there's a couple other ones that are like companion games too, like Alien Crush. And anyway, carry on.
Are they all pinball games?
There's a series of pinball games, and they're all Crush. There's Alien Crush, there's Devil's Crush, and then I don't remember what the third one was. I did not own this on the TurboGrafx. I did, however, buy this on the Wii Virtual Console because someone said like, "Oh yeah, TurboGrafx games are coming. You should definitely get Devil's Crush." It's like, all right, that sounds like an awesome game. It's like, yeah, it's a satanic pinball game. It's like, all right, I'm gonna play this because I don't know what it is. I'm not sure why, but digital pinball games, I really like them. Like for some reason, video game pinball, I love those games.
They can kind of do a lot that regular pinball can't do. You know, the ball can go into sections that are, you know, the new sections. You can get into new sections with the balls.
Yeah.
The balls go into new sections. That's new rooms. Yeah.
And that's what I think it is, because that was one of the cool things about this game was the table was split into 3 sections. So you basically had like 3 screens of table, but then if you knocked the ball into like a dragon's mouth or a demon's hands or whatever, you'd go to a bonus room where you kind of had to like fight a boss. Like there was one where there's like a 6-headed dragon and you kept using the flippers to knock the pinball and knock all of the heads of the dragon off, and then you got bonus points. Like, this game is metal as hell.
I mean, it sounds like hell. It sounds pretty dope, man.
Does anybody know? Do you remember I actually wrote down my high score, for some reason that when I was playing this game, which wasn't that long ago, it was like I don't know, several years ago, and I was playing it kind of a lot. Do you know? I mean, is it a game you played recently at all, or
not recently? No. It was mainly back when my Wii was working.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Which I wish there was a better way to phrase that sentence, but
sore spot.
No, I remember it not being a particularly difficult game. Like I definitely had a high score in the upper hundreds of thousands, but I don't remember exactly what I had.
Well, my if anybody's interested, or like just to compare to see. And I didn't play it that much, but my high score that I wrote down was, and this is on just using one credit, was 42,665,300. I actually think it's probably not hard to get to 1 million, but anyway, that's if anybody's interested in comparing high scores.
42 million though.
Yeah.
42 million, 42.5 million. Yeah.
Hey man. Yeah. Based on what I know of pinball games, that could be a very good score. Could be a very, very high score, very low score. My experience in pinball games is, of course, 3D Pinball Space Cadet for Windows 95, and Pokemon Pinball, and then all random actual pinball games at like barcades. I have not played nearly enough video game pinball. It seems like kind of thing that's a lot of fun.
Speaking of pinball, the Legacy Music Hour, we did one episode that was only pinball machines music. So music from actual pinball machines, not pinball video games, but the music from, which sounds really similar to video game music. A lot of times they use the similar sound hardware and stuff. And but yeah, we did one episode on pinball music.
I would have thought that
pinball machines.
Yeah, mostly the sound of pinball machines to me is like the noise of an arcade.
Sure, yeah.
You so seldom hear the music unless it's like a metal band themed pinball machine.
I was going to say, I would imagine that like the music from pinball machines is a lot of like sample of movie themes or bands or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, on this episode we did, it was all original. Like you weren't allowed. In fact, actually, for our podcast altogether, we don't allow ourselves to use adapted music from movies or whatever. It has to be all original music to the game. And so likewise with the pinball episode, we couldn't use anything that was like a licensed, thing from a movie or whatever. Or if it wasn't
Addams Family Pinball.
Right, exactly, yeah. Although I actually think Addams Family Pinball might have had some original music in it or something like that, maybe. But yeah, anyway.
I would love to find out that MC Hammer's song was actually an original composition for the Addams Family Pinball Machine before the movies.
It came out. That was where it debuted, and then he adapted it for the movie.
Rolled it out the pinball.
That's pretty good. I can write some lyrics to that.
Does what he wants to do.
I know the Super Mario Brothers pinball machine has a annoying attract mode. So.
Yeah.
Is it just the Mario Brothers theme, or?
Well, no, it's Mario keeps like saying like weird stuff, like "Come play a pinball." It's like,
oh yeah, I bet hearing that every like 35 seconds would get really old really fast.
No, you want to know what's unsettling is at my wedding reception, Daniel surprised me with a Ghostbusters pinball machine. And that apparently lets out a blood-curdling scream every few minutes. So people are at nearby tables just trying to enjoy their meal. And you just hear... That's
which is exactly what you want to hear during a wedding.
Did he give it to you for your wedding or just for the rented it for the reception?
Rented it for the reception.
Oh, that's cool. Was it a Ghostbusters themed wedding?
No, it's just
Should have
a complete-
been.
Yeah,
Oh,
I really,
it
I,
should have
Fuck
been.
God.
I really missed the bus on that
That would
one.
have been perfect. Like the person marrying you and your wife, or it could have been Zool, and then you could have been the Rick Moranis character, and
Yeah.
your wife could be Sigourney Weaver, and that
Yeah,
could have
do a
been
whole gatekeeper.
You're
key
speaking
master
Johnny's
thing.
language right
Yeah.
now. Hard.
God damn it,
Y'all should redo it.
Danielle.
Yeah,
we're
I'm
getting
saying,
there.
man,
you could have dressed up as
Renew
a
those fucking vows.
When you renew those vows, let me know. I'm coming down and I'm renting a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man costume, and I will be there in that costume.
The vows would just simply be, "Are you the keymaster?" And the other one would be, "Yeah," or "Are you the the gate master?" or whatever it is. You
Yes.
just quote the movie.
And just tease that hair up, get really
And
fucked up looking.
The best, the best men or whatever would be, or the groomsmen would be the Ghostbusters, and you get you get Annie Potts on the bride side, and just
Yes.
Annie Potts, the
That's
actress, not the character.
The actress,
you have
of
to
course.
actually get that. You have to call Annie Potts and get her over there.
Yeah, and you got the animated like dog statues as your ring bearer and flower girl. It's it's a really good idea there, John.
Yeah. No.
And where
man.
does the Marshmallow Man fit into all this? He's the entertainment, I guess.
Right.
It's just the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. No, it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man playing a harp as she walks down the aisle.
Right.
Also good. Yeah, I was gonna say
Also,
just
and
making
then you
everybody get on the floor for the cha-cha slide.
No, he ends the wedding by stepping on the church. That's that's what he does.
Mazel tov.
During the reception, you could just melt him, and it could be kind of like an Ibiza foam party, but with marshmallows
Fuck,
instead of foam.
Instead of having like a chocolate fountain, it's just a marshmallow fountain.
Man, I really fucked up by not doing all this.
Yeah, John, your wedding was just fine, but it wasn't any of this, man. It should have been.
Man.
If you're gonna spend on the right things, John. You fool.
Need proton packs and
Yeah. Oh, God, what was our groomsman gift, David? It wasn't a proton pack. Ugh.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. So who even fucking cares? Anyway.
Wait, hold on. So you guys were the groomsmen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and David were.
Oh, what happened? What's up with Jesse though?
It's a
I
good
couldn't
question,
make it.
John. Now's the time to address it.
I'm kidding.
So why was it Jesse in your wedding?
Think that, but did you? I had a question about that. But anyway, I was gonna say, if the three of you were all the groomsmen, who would be who as far as the Ghostbusters goes? That was going to be the question. I guess if you had to pick a Ghostbuster, John, who would it be? And David,
See,
who would it be?
Johnny's
And
the one
Jesse,
getting
who would it be,
married, so
Michael?
Johnny gets first.
You
pick.
need a fourth anyway, so I'll play the game too, and I'll pick one too.
All right. Yeah.
Go ahead. You guys go first.
I mean, obviously, I'm pretty high on myself, so I think I'd be the Vinkman of the group.
I was gonna say, like, I feel very comfortable being Ray, and I feel
Yes.
like everyone will agree that that's pretty spot on.
I think so.
I'm okay. Yeah.
um,
I'll go ahead, Jesse.
I guess I could be Winston. That'd be fun.
See, it's interesting that you say that. I was going to say, I was originally going to say, you know what, I'll be Egon, but since I'm kind of joining your guys' group right now last, it's sort of like I should be, Ernie Hudson kind of because or Winston, I mean, because, I'm joining in later. But you know what? I originally my instincts were to pick Egon. So you picking Winston's, that works out.
Yeah,
Perfect.
See,
Perfect.
yeah, he'll
Works
do
either
anything
way.
for a paycheck. He'll believe anything you want.
Yeah. I'll do
It's,
whichever you got.
Yeah.
So
Damn,
Devil's
that's,
Crush.
Yeah. Anyway,
So- I had a question about Devil's Crush. How does it compare to Orange Crush?
Well,
It's red.
it's less like fulfilling and it's less flavorful, but it does have more Satan. So it's kind of an even balance.
it's a vegan soda.
Vegan soda.
Never mind.
Orange Crush or Devil's Crush?
The one made with Satan. No,
Oh, okay.
it's okay.
You know what? If Devil's Crush was a soda, it would basically just be carbonated blood, I think.
Yeah,
I'd go for that.
that's the taste I get in my mouth when I play most pinball games.
Or Blood Orange.
I can't see the FDA approving that though, guys. I don't know if that would ever make it to a store shelf.
I mean, they approved Soylent Green. They can approve blood soda.
Yeah,
Wait, they approved you can buy Soylent Green?
Yeah,
Yes,
Johnny,
John.
we're living in the future.
And it's
And nobody is aware of the connections with that product title. Anyway, yeah, David, excellent pick. This Devil's Crush.
It's got a killer soundtrack too.
Got a great soundtrack. You want to shout out the composer or anything like that?
You can shout out the composer if you happen to have it pulled up in front of you.
I can pull
David.
it up if you guys want.
I was going to say,
think-
huge mistake.
Well, in that case, then I will shout out the composer, Toshiaki Sakota.
Well done. Excellent pick. Excellent game. Excellent soundtrack. Excellent soda. And I think, frankly, it's refreshingly addictive. And if there's something else
Refreshingly
we got-
satanic.
yeah, Satan is refreshingly
Only
addictive.
666 calories.
And if
Wait,
there's
that's a
nothing
lot.
else, I think we got to get out of this, man. We got to move on.
all right.
Game 2.
All right. For this game, Scary Larry of GamePro viewed this game as Genesis's answer to The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. All right, let's see what you got. Oh, fuck. Okay, wow.
Oh, sorry, I'm backwards, but yeah.
No, that's all right. So David said Landstalker, incorrect. John said Beyond Another Oasis, incorrect. Johnny and Brent say Crusader of Centy, which is correct.
Ooh.
Sweet.
This is Crusader of Centy, which looks just like fucking Link to the Past. It's crazy. Has anyone else played this game?
I haven't played this. This is a pretty expensive game to get. I guess people could play it on an emulator or something, but I personally don't play emulator.
Whoa, hey,
no,
Brent,
no,
we,
that's not a thing.
Hey, we don't
I-
talk
I-
about
I-
such
I-
things on.
I don't play with emulator, so therefore I haven't played it. But this is it's definitely an awesome soundtrack, and there's some really good tracks in this game, and definitely we've played tracks from this game on my podcast.
Yeah, it's super good. I've been playing it recently. I borrowed it from a friend that had it, and and so but yeah, it's very much like Link to the Past. It's wild how much it looks on the Sega Genesis.
Okay, wow. Even just the first screenshot on the wiki page, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's clear what they're trying to do. Jesus Christ, that's their Link to the Past, all right.
And I feel like it came out the same time as Beyond Oasis came out, and I guess the art style for that game kind of popped a little more, and so people really got on that bandwagon and just kind of forgot about this game because it is kind of obscure-ish. Like Brent said, it's very expensive because they didn't make a whole lot of.
Yeah, and also at least nowadays, Beyond Oasis is a lot more affordable and so therefore accessible. And I have Beyond Oasis myself, and it is a good game too. Beyond Oasis.
Yeah.
There's some cool music in that too by Yuzo Koshiro.
Oh yeah, that's a really good soundtrack.
We've definitely used Beyond Oasis before. That's why I had no idea what this was and had to guess the fake Beyond Another Oasis. Hoping it was
a sequel.
Another Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack that I maybe was not aware of. But
I had written down Beyond Oasis. Like, no, we used that. What was the other one? Landstalker. That's what it was.
Duh.
The other Sega RPG.
Landstalker. Actually, I played through that. I got that I don't know, maybe a year ago. I played through that pretty recently. And, that has great music as well by Motoaki Takanuichi.
Yeah, this one is by Motokazu Shinoda, and
guy from Static. No, never mind. He's not the guy from Static X. That's Mike
What?
Shinoda.
no, no, but
Different
interesting
Shinoda.
thing
My bad,
is-
guys.
I didn't realize this because I immediately named my character Butt for some reason. But if you don't,
As one
name your
does.
if you don't name your character, their name is Corona, and that's
Wow.
interesting.
So this game predicted our current predicament. That's what you're saying.
Are we going to get demonetized now?
So-
Maybe they were just into the beer,
That too, yeah.
Oh,
Th-
yeah.
This game was all about changing latitudes left and right.
There's
It
a
was,
track in that game. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it was published by Atlas, which they do a few cool games.
Yeah, maybe you've heard of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm just literally thumbing through Google Images of this. I'm just like, yeah, that's man, it's a good looking Zelda clone. But it's one of those games where I could have been convinced that I've missed out on something by not owning a Genesis, and then been like, wait a minute, no, I own SNES. I played Zelda. I didn't miss out. It's the same thing.
Well, this game though, you get animal companions that help you out.
See, that's what I fucking missed out. I love animal companions.
So okay, the crux of the game at the beginning is you talk to this lady, and she's like, "Hey, now you can talk to animals," and he's like, "Oh, cool." Except now that you can talk to animals, you can't talk to people anymore. So whenever you talk to people, it's just like Hubert language. And
listen,
but
fair trade.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
saying.
really.
I'm going to put it out there.
Have you talked to people
Into it.
lately, Jesse? I'll take
Yes.
the animals.
Animals all
I
day.
would much rather be able to communicate with the animals.
And so
I'm just
like
thinking-
you go to your dog, and your dog is like, "I'm hungry," and then you're like, "Wait, you can understand me? Well, let's go on an adventure." And you meet this rabbit, and your dog is like, "Hey, rabbit, this dude can understand animals, so he's a cool human." And the rabbit's like, "Okay, fine, I'll teach you how to jump." And And like the dog like just floats behind you. Like it doesn't like walk on the ground, it floats. And basically you just let it you stop it where it is, and if any enemies get near it, he bites them and then they're stuck there, which is really good because there's a lot of stupid enemies that move around all over the place.
Nice.
And he's a very helpful dog.
So it's like the chain chomp in Link's Awakening. Like it
Yes.
keeping it around is of great benefit.
Yes.
Nice.
There's a track in that game called Water Lily, I think it's called. That's my favorite track.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anybody who wants to do any extra digging into the soundtrack of this game, Water Lily. That's a.
I was digging those 2 tracks, Jesse. This music is pretty sweet.
Yeah, like every like zone I went into was a new jam. It's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, and speaking of zone, I guess Sonic the Hedgehog has a cameo in this game.
Oh my God, he does.
See, that's why I didn't bring that shit up. I scrolled
Johnny
right
will
past
find
that.
a way to work it in.
It's
You
already
find him
there.
on the beach.
I didn't have to do
Yeah.
anything.
He's like fucking lying on a lounge chair and at the beach, and he's like, "Hey, I'm way better than you are." Ha ha ha! And it's like,
See, and it makes sense because you can talk to animals. Like, if you had not been in this game and approached Sonic the Hedgehog, you would have been terribly confused. But since this Crusader can talk to animals, that's the reasoning. You got to put Sega's most famous animal in the game.
I'm looking at a screenshot of it too, and I love that they make no effort to try to redesign Sonic to fit into the world. Like it's literally a Sonic 2 sprite just sitting in a chair.
Hell yeah, that's good effort, man. That's good shit.
That's what I do.
I mean, that's all I do for like episode art. I just take existing assets and compile them into things. So yeah, these guys that make Crusader Centy, they're on my same wavelength. It's just how it goes. It reeks of fantastic effort. They took Legend of Zelda and then slapped a couple new skins on it, and then they were like, oh, we should throw Sonic in there. Cool. Right click, paste, and boom, Sonic's in the game. Like
and ironically now you've got, I don't know if this is ironically, but now you've got Sonic doing Nintendo games, appearing in Nintendo games and wearing Link's clothes in I don't know, one of these games, Sonic Worlds or something like that.
Oh yeah.
About that. My friend who's he's a big Sega guy. He found it really upsetting to see not only Sonic being in a Nintendo game, but also wearing Link's clothes, because you go into a Hyrule kind of world, and then you have him wearing those clothes, and he said that for him it was like watching your daughter doing porn.
I mean,
Something
that's
like
the thing. As people that survived the console wars, it is a strange thing to see Mario and Sonic getting along. It doesn't make any sense.
But especially to have him wearing the clothes, it's so humiliating, to wear the Link clothes.
I'm just amazed of all the ways that you could compare Sonic the Hedgehog and porn. Dressing up as Link was like the bottom of the list.
Yeah. No, and see, that is a weird connection too, because usually everybody's like, "Oh, Mario versus Sonic." They're at the Olympics together. Nobody thinks about Link versus Sonic. So, to be dressing up in Link's clothes makes it extra kinky. It's very strange.
If Sonic's in Link's clothes, my first question is, what happened to Link? Is Link okay?
Well, excuse me, Hedgehog.
Oh, see, I bet you Link. He put together the Triforce, and as soon as he was going to touch it, Sonic just sped in from out of nowhere, touched it, made his wish. His wish was for Link's clothes, and and that's my fanfic. I can't believe they've been reading it.
Well, there's different heroes throughout like all of history. There's the hero of winds, the hero of time. Well, one of the heroes is a hedgehog.
God,
canonically, it fits.
Play the shit out of that,
dude. Just imagine Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, and it's in the not too distant future, and the next hero of time, Link's a generational thing. The hero awakens each generation. It's Sonic this time. Like, just instead of being Link, it's just Sonic.
But he's still the only hedgehog. There are no other anthropomorphic animals. He's just the only one.
Mm-hmm. And he's the only one that doesn't talk. So it's just Sonic going around like, and
it's pretty sad for people who are so Sega, so on the side of Sega, because it's it kind of maybe shows that Sega was so desperate to keep this alive that they had to succumb to Nintendo and finally join Nintendo. You know?
Yeah, no, that's that. I mean,
The person
Sega
I'm
fans have been
talking
sad since
about-
the Dreamcast.
Right. Well, but the person I'm talking about is the guy who co-hosts the Legacy Music Hour. His name is Rob.
Oh, that's Switch.
Drag his
Rob
ass.
That's who he's an upset. He's been really sad about, you know,
Still.
the current state of things, you know, with Sonic and Sega.
And I'm pretty ambivalent towards it because, like, you know, these Sonic Olympic games are pretty fun, man. You know, my 7-year-old nephew thinks Sonic and Mario get along just fine, and that's fine. Let him have
funny.
that
They have no
delightful
idea.
worldview. He doesn't know a world where Mario and Sonic are rivals. It would weird him out if he knew what happened before this.
I think if Rob was here, I think he would tell your nephew to know his history. You know, know your history. You know, and know the struggle that used to exist.
Yeah, no. As soon as he's ready, I'm going to learn him good. But like, you know, for now, he's just, you know,
In his about
Yeah.
Blissful
that kind of his ignorant bubble. You know.
yeah. But oh man,
Just
you know,
don't
those
show him
sweet summer children that think Mario and Sonic are good friends.
Wait till he hears about Crash Bandicoot.
That's when it gets complicated. If he says, Uncle John, I need a PlayStation, it's gonna be, no, son, no.
No, son.
That's not the way. Anyway, you know, Jesse, anything else on Crusader of Centy?
Nothing. It's
What a game.
Cool. Yeah, it's great. Great fucking music. Great.
Yeah, no, I dig it. I need to do a deep dive into that. I look forward to like editing this episode and getting to listen to more of this. So hell yeah, Johnny, don't bring up Sonic again, and let's keep the game moving.
Can do. I'm gonna put on my producer hat for a quick second here. We're running so behind, just an FYI. But I'll get this game going.
Okay.
Game 3.
Helps if I turn the volume back up. There we go.
I mean, that's the loop right there. I think.
Okay.
If you want, I mean, or you can, you know, if you want to keep playing, I don't care.
I usually fade out after the loop, but I was like, well, I don't want to be
We're
rude to the
grooving.
guest. I don't want to be rude to Brent. You know.
No. I mean, it's
The whole thing.
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can just kind of talk about some stuff about the game. Like, is the trivia? Yeah, I guess the trivia can be about the game. I guess, but
I mean,
So-
you know,
I would hope it's about the game.
you can give it away as
No,
much or
as
as little as you
opposed-
want.
as opposed to just about the track or the composer or whatever. But from what I can tell, to my knowledge, the developer, I'll tell you the developer of the game. The developer, don't look this up, of course, is a company called Dynamite, and I think they only developed one game. This game.
Oh shit!
And I think, but but it was published by J-Wing, I think. And the composer, he's one of my favorite composers, and he, I think maybe, I guess, do some of you know? Well, it doesn't matter. So he did a bunch of games, and he also composed the music to the Back to the Future 2 game that's for the Super Famicom called Super Back to the Future 2, I think it's called. And he also did the music to Gauntlet 4 for the Sega Genesis, and he did a bunch of stuff, and did a few tracks, or not? Yeah, I did a few tracks for Treasure Hunter G for the Super Famicom, and he did what else did he do? Well, he did a lot of. He's really good. He's one of the best. He's one of my favorite 16-bit era composers. And I don't know, is that good enough trivia? Or
I think that's the thing. The trivia is meant not to be a giveaway, but to be like a push in the right direction. And
yeah.
So anybody listening, that should be plenty of push.
Yeah, I mean, I can name the composer, and that'd be a real push. But I'll save that, I guess.
Super push.
That's a loop right there. So it's got that real funky little kind of solo in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
I've always liked when chiptune composers take the time to write out the solo in their chiptunes.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a tough one here, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did not pick this because it's obscure. I picked it because the music is good. Wow. Okay, so all right. So John says question marks. I haven't heard of that game. Is that a puzzle game or no? I'm just kidding. And then John, the other John says Tactics Ogre, and okay, that's what he says. That's not correct, but that's the best guess, by the way, so far. And so Plock was Jesse's guess, and Cool Spot is David's guess. And so those are all wrong. And he's saying Ogre Battle. Yeah, so that's also a good guess because this composer did compose music for those games.
Yeah, noted.
Wait, you know that?
See, that's the thing.
You know that?
I'm not I'm not going to claim to be a genius on this one. I have my music player pulled up. I have every single SNES song downloaded. So you mentioned Super Back to the Future. I'm like, oh hey, Hitoshi Sakamoto composed for Super Back to the Future 2. What an odd. So I thought maybe Tactics Ogre, maybe Ogre Battle. Granted, neither of those songs sounded like they belonged in the Ogre Battle series. Those funky ogres.
Well, obviously, those ogre games are tactical RPG games. This is just a straight RPG. So Hitoshi Sakamoto is the composer, as you mentioned, and the name of the game is The Adventure of Hourai High School. And this is a Super Famicom game. It was only released in Japan. And it's a role-playing game. Takes place in it's a high school kind of setting. And I have played this game. I never, as I mentioned earlier, I don't do I never use emulators. I don't. I always get the original games when I play games,
Impressive.
and I almost never use reproduction carts. There's very rare cases where I have, and this is one of those cases. And the reason why is because a friend of mine gave it to me as a gift, and she knew I liked the soundtrack a lot, and so I did play this game on a reproduction cart, and it is kind of an unplayable game, I'll say. Meaning, the reason being is it's just the random encounters are so frequent that you can't play the game at a certain point. That, for one thing, you fight so many battles, you level up very quickly, and to a point where you don't have to even look at the screen. You can just keep pressing one button and just you'll survive it no matter what. It's going to be so easy, and you can't walk more than like a couple pixels without encountering a new enemy. And so I don't know. I don't know how far I was into the game, but if anybody knows the game, I was in the girls' dormitory, and
All right.
there was but it was I don't know. It was probably like the middle of the game, or maybe even 2/3 into the game, maybe. And I just couldn't. At a certain point, I just couldn't play it anymore. It's just I essentially was trapped in one place. If I moved, it would be another encounter, and I just couldn't make progress through the game. So,
Really
but if it wasn't for the really super frequent random encounters, the game would actually be a really cool game. I'm not really big into role playing games myself, but or turn based ones at least. But there's some neat game mechanics. Like, you can join different clubs and kind of get different, like school clubs. You can kind of get different skills based on that. And there's some cool things going on, and setting wise, it's kind of a cool setting for a role playing game and all that. But so it would be a cool game if it wasn't for the random encounters, and the music is really great as well. So the Adventure of Hourai High School for Super Famicom.
I'm
Sounds
looking at
kinda
it
like,
now. You're breaking Jesse's heart, is what you're doing here, because
How?
it looks like anime high school Earthbound, man, and you hate those first person RPGs.
Oh yeah, I do. I hate.
You got to be able to
first-person
see your characters do something.
RPGs. Yeah,
I'm
If I
so
can't-
sorry, Jesse.
that's all right.
You
But-
mean he would like this game?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
But
I don't like
you mean
battle systems where you can't see your characters fight. So like Earthbound or Phantasy Star 3 or
I see. Yeah. Got it.
if
Yeah.
I can't see my characters interacting with stuff or even just waving a sword around, it just takes the game right out of me.
And by the way, like I said, I don't really like I don't really like role playing. I mean, role playing games aren't really my thing. But having said that, just to show you my level of tolerance as far as getting through and playing through role playing games, just as far as just being informed about games in general, Tales of Fantasia I've played all the way through in Japanese, actually, on the Super Famicom, and that has the most random encounters I've ever played besides this game. I mean, that almost is not. I mean, that's pretty much not playable because of the random encounters. But it's just playable. It's playable just enough, right? And I've sat through that. That game's long too, and I've done that. So it's like I have a high. I mean, I can get through a game with like high frequency random encounters, but this was just, you couldn't move. You can't move at a certain point in this game, unfortunately.
Oh, that's annoying.
I like
it really
the
does
idea
crack
of,
me up, the idea of that.
It's like I like the idea of a game being unplayable, not because of how difficult it is or how like frustrating it is, but because it becomes so easy that every battle is just a waste of your time. Like, that's such a unique concept.
Well, it got to a point where I wasn't even I was doing other things. I was just pressing whatever button you need to press the action button or whatever. And because you don't even, that's the other thing, is that they have these cool skills that you can develop, but you don't have to use those skills at all because there's no point, like you don't have to use any of the cool mechanics that are built into the game. They become useless because it's going to be quicker and faster to just do use a regular attack on the enemies. And anyway, that's a major flaw in the game.
Did you ever think about those little birds that poke their head in the water You could just have one of those set up on your controller,
Right,
so it just hits the
right.
button over and over
Not
again.
a
You
bad
can just go
idea.
do stuff.
I do have a Rob the Robot, and
Oh, there you go.
picks up the gyromites or picks up the gyros, and I can just have him putting the gyros back on and off the thing.
Yeah,
Look at
anything
our
to automate,
super intricate
your way out of
combat
this game.
system. Yeah, that's great. I'm just gonna keep mashing A.
Yeah. I
But,
solved that
yeah.
combat system with a rubber band. Man.
But
I mean-
Anyway, but it's a really great soundtrack. Hitoshi Sakamoto, he's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he didn't do a whole lot of like 16-bit stuff. So I was, whenever I again was cheating my way into a guess, I was surprised to see how easy it was. I was like, oh yeah, he only did like Super Back to the Future, fucking a couple of ogre battles, and it's like, oh right, all his Japan only stuff. I kind of forgot about those.
He did a lot of. I mean, he did like I said, Gauntlet, and he did this game called Veritex, and he did this game called Devilish, which is another pinball game, I think.
Yeah, we've used
and-
Devilish.
Oh,
That
yeah.
game's cool.
Yeah, and he did. He did quite a few games during the 16-bit era. Actually, we did a whole focus on this composer on our podcast, episode 68.
Nice.
If anybody's interested.
Cool.
It seems like every time that he's brought up with Masaharu Iwata, and it's all about technics.
That's right. They work together a lot. But for Hourai High School, he did that by himself, and he there's some other games he did solo as well. I think the Super Back to the Future. Oh, here's a little trivia bit. This is kind of weird. Is that there's a track in Hourai High School that is the same track that's in Super Back to the Future 2. And I don't know. You just reuse the track that track is based on. It's not the same thing. I would say it's legal. It's not what I mean. It's not an adapted piece of music exactly, but it's definitely, it kind of uses the same chord changes as the original Alan Silvestri Back to the Future music.
Oh no, that's funny.
That's neat.
Yeah, I discover little things like that every now and then. Like I was looking for music for this game, this episode, and just going through my like SNES collection, and it's all just the music that's downloaded from SNESmusic.org. So shout out to those guys who went through and tagged all that stuff.
Some of it's not correct, by the way.
Some of it is incorrect, yes, but there is one that was correct, and there is a very shitty basketball game for the SNES where almost 100% of the soundtrack is recycled from Home Improvement Power Tool Pursuit. And I almost picked it just for the sake of confusion.
Wow. That's
It's like,
interesting.
All the soundtracks to rip off.
Exactly.
game?
Like
What's the game called?
I gotta find it again. It was really fun. It was just something like like Street Dunkers or some bland generic basketball title, and it's like, and all the comments were like, "This is just the Home Improvement song."
That's
And
my
I looked
favorite
at, like,
appetizer.
that
to
is
get
just the
at
Home
Black
Improvement
Friday.
song. Like, how do they think they could get away with putting that? I mean, you're not anticipating anybody playing the game, but like, you're playing street ball and the Home Improvement theme's playing. Like, you got to know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't flow. But I'm in favor of weirdly reused soundtracks every now and then. But yeah, especially, I mean, if with a game like this where it didn't come out in all regions, so maybe Sakamoto was just kind of like, oh fuck it, man. I got like 50 songs down for this thing. Just throw one in there from the other game. We'll be fine. Nobody's gonna notice. But super cool soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I like an RPG set in like a weird modern high school. Like it seems like a fun game if only it were playable in America.
Yeah. Or if it was playable at all.
It sounds
Right,
kind of like Persona.
that too. Yeah, so it seems like a less fucked up and weird Persona, but yeah, I don't know about Persona enough to actually like verify that. But so maybe it's just like adorable early 90s Persona, which sounds pretty good too. So awesome, excellent pick. And I definitely didn't inform Brent that we pick games only released in America for this show. So if anybody's going to complain to me.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was wondering. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know if that.
No, it's all good.
As I gave you the details for the show,
We have a
Shut up,
whole
John.
You said
sound
what?
effect for this.
yeah, I mean we do, but don't give it to Brent because I didn't tell him. Give it to me.
I mean,
All right.
to be fair, we also have a sound effect for when we all get a game wrong, and we've yet to bust that out. So
Oh yeah. Wow.
It's okay.
That's
but,
on me.
It's fine. That's another Johnny fuck up. But yeah, no, I'm in favor of occasionally dipping into the Japan only market when it results in a great soundtrack being played for the show. So thank you for that. And if there's nothing else, then we just got to keep it moving.
Game 4.
Alright guys, a little bit of a trivia / hint for this one. The final climactic battle at the end of this game differs from the movie that it's based on. The hero and the villain are both wearing their masks, which is not how the movie ends.
God damn it.
I mean, I know I'm not right about this. I'm trying to think of like the trivia clue. That's really helpful, and it doesn't.
Oh, you should think on the trivia clue. There was a big hint in there.
Well, this is like not my answer doesn't work with the clue, so I know it's wrong. But
something you should know about Johnny. He almost always goes for the easy fucking thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Brent says zombie ate my neighbors, which is incorrect. John wrote smoking. And Jessie and David both wrote The Mask. This is The Mask for the Super Nintendo. I can't get it to play 3 at a time like I used to. Okay, hold on. We're getting the third.
No hat trick, John? I mean, smoking was a mask reference. I thought you would get that, but...
There you go. You get the hat trick sound.
Shit, John.
I miss our old hat trick.
It's back, man. And it's as loud and as annoying as it ever was.
The old new one. Whatever.
So yes, this is the mask for the Super Nintendo. I kind of actually enjoy the soundtrack a little bit. I like the jazzy, overall jazz vibe of it. And that track that I played with the solo, I like I said earlier in the show, I appreciate when people take the time to write a solo out. I've always been kind of like, I play saxophone, and when I do a solo, I just make it up. I just, whatever. So like it's weird. The idea of writing it down ahead of time is really flummoxing to me. So I really appreciate when someone takes the time to actually write it out for a chiptune, no less. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Brent.
real quick. I just need to. I think might need to leave and come right back because I have to stop recording for a second and then just for a quick second and then I will be right back. If that's okay.
He's bailing, John. Way to go.
No. I have to stop recording right now and I just have to
Sure.
real quick. But I will. Let me just. Hopefully, I don't have to.
Why did I pick the mask? I knew it. I shouldn't have done that.
Somebody stop you.
Okay, hold on.
Man.
Can you hear me, by the way? No, probably
Yeah,
not. Right?
we can hear you.
No, we can.
It's very echoey.
Oh, whoops.
I bet you he's recording with all kinds of fancy like boards and stuff. We just use USB mics and like scrubs.
Okay, I'm going to. Okay, wait. Talk again.
Hey.
Still here. Talking about the mask.
Okay, great.
SNES.
I didn't have to leave. I didn't even have to leave. Okay, carry on.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. So anyway, John, wow. What inspired you to pick an SNES movie tie-in game for a movie that I would argue no one has thought of in, I'm going to say 20 years. Like, when's the last time you even thought of The Mask starring Jim Carrey?
Well, the thing about The Mask is that the 26th anniversary of its release is coming up pretty soon. So I wanted to get a celebration going.
Oh.
God damn it.
I will put money down that John saw the Sonic movie, saw Jim Carrey as Robotnik, and said, Jim Carrey, I haven't seen him in something since. I should pick The Mask for Game That Tune.
That's a way better story than the reality of the situation. The reality is, like last night at about 2 a.m, I was Googling worst 16-bit games and found this.
God!
Worst.
It's an okay game. It's not a bad game, honestly. I did play it a bit, and
What's the Metacritic score?
That's a good question. I didn't look that up.
How would
probably
you?
not good.
I mean, oh God. I mean, I could see it being a fun game. Like the sprites must be wacky as hell.
Yeah,
like
it's actually got good.
Can you kill people with like the little like bike horn that goes auga?
And you can use a giant hammer, and you can do the thing where he pulls out like a billion guns at once and shoot people. It's actually a pretty fun, comical game. It's not terrible. The main issue is that the levels are like ridiculously difficult. There's some like the final level. There's a mechanic throughout the game where you can like go into a vent and pop out another vent elsewhere in the stage, like kind of a warp. And the final level has so many of those, and they go all over the place. Like you go in a vent and you go, way to the top right of the level. Just kind of out like there, and there's no like way to know where it's gonna actually go ahead of time. You just have to do a lot of trial and error, right? It's kind of that kind of game. Like the
Well, I mean, that's kind of how the end of The Mask was. It was, they were ripping off Die Hard, and the Mask was crawling through the vents and getting lost for an extended riff, and then
I'm just wondering, like, what levels are in this game? Like, I know movie tie-ins have to take liberties and all that, but I'm trying to think back to The Mask, and I can only remember like 3 locations in the entire movie.
It's got to be like the streets, Stanley Ipkiss's apartment,
Yep,
the Copacabana Club,
Coco Bongo,
Coco Bongo, excuse me,
the bank.
Yes, the bank.
The bank.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you, David. I honestly was going to blank on the bank. That's
That's
it,
what I
right,
mean. It's
John?
like, how do you
Actually-
get like more than
actually,
4 levels from this game?
You don't.
Well, there's probably 4. Is there only 4 levels?
No, I forget the exact number, but there's not a lot. It's
They
like-
counted
it's
on
maybe
no one
5.
ever seeing past the first level.
There's a prison level in this game, actually.
Whoa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The mask
That's kind
goes
of like
to
a
jail.
bank in a way.
Yeah.
That's like a
Rips
bank,
off,
but for it's a bank for people though.
Yeah, a people bank.
Exactly.
It's a vault for people.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Carrey
And-
gets shivved.
Yeah. Oh God. Just picture the mask, but in like Oz. It's bleak.
We're talking the prison show, right? Not the magical world with the wizard.
Yes, that's right. David.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
What if they did?
The one you've seen, I assume.
What if they did do a prison show with the? What if they did do a prison show with the characters from the Wizard of Oz? That'd be kind of
That
cool.
sounds amazing.
Be interesting, different.
I mean, yeah, like you gotta wonder who would be in charge of the whole thing. Like, who's the king of the prison? It wouldn't be the
Oz.
Cowardly Lion.
Right.
Probably the Tin Man.
I,
Or the wizard.
I think obviously it's the Tin Man. He has
Yeah.
no heart.
And he's heartless and he can't be shanked. Like it just, you try to like hit him with a toothbrush and just like brushes off of him, and he he fucks you up real good.
I'm really tickled by your phrase "king of the prison." Like that's a weird title for a warden to give himself.
No, that's not.
That's not a warden
Not the
title.
warden. You
It's,
mean
you know,
who's the top criminal that is?
Yeah.
Who does everyone respect in the prison?
I
You know,
just
that's what
watched Escape from New York. I'm picturing like the Duke of New York. I'm picturing every prison has a prison king, and in this particular Oz prison, it's probably the Tin Man. Like, is that not how prison works? I haven't watched a lot of prison stuff. I'm a little oblivious to this.
I thought you were gonna say, like, is that how prison works? I've never been to prison, so
I have not. I mean,
well,
what's
that's
kinda
I know
funny?
we need criminal justice reform, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with the prison king system. I think it's a good system.
You know how the word shank is used in prison a lot? Well,
Yes.
it's interesting that the Shawshank Redemption is not about that, even though that the word shank is in the title of
yeah.
that movie.
That's
See,
Yeah.
Dude, you're speaking all our language here, man. Because there's no shanking in that movie. It's just about a corrupt warden, and he just has like guys gunned down. Like, there's no shanking that takes
There's
place.
probably a lot of people who are like, "Ooh, shanking! I want to watch this," and then there's no
Exactly.
shanking.
just a
prison
river-
movie, and it has
Prison movie,
shank.
John,
Right
I
there
they
in the
come
title.
close to shanking somebody, but then they don't actually do it.
Mm.
John, I think you mean a corrupt king of the prison.
No. Again, the warden is not the prison king. It's a different thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't-
the
I,
gangster. It's the who's the top prisoner. I mean,
Right,
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah,
It's
that-
like
that
basically,
person
who's
that-
the buffet? Who's the buffest guy with the most tattoos?
Oh,
I'm
it's like-
saying.
is it? I want to say it's either Cradle to the Grave or Romeo Must Die. There's a prison scene, and like the dude in prison has like a really nice fucking cell. He's smoking cigars.
See,
And
prison
like
king.
he's got like a nice couch and stuff, and he's
Yep.
like eating grapes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forget which one it was.
Yeah, like I've been doing a rewatch of The Wire, and it's like Avon Barksdale when he goes to prison, still basically running a drug empire from the prison, and like he coordinates a bunch of stuff. Like that's a prison king right there, man. It doesn't matter that he's in prison; he's still gonna have that hustle, baby. So the prison king is not the warden, John. Don't mistake it. Anyway, but the Mask would be an excellent prison king because he could just do whatever he wants. You put the Mask in prison, he just pulls goofy shit out of his jumpsuit. Like it makes sense that he would be not elected prison king, but he would take it by force. I mean, yeah,
We're doing
there
our
would be
prison
a
king
bloody
voting.
level where he fights his way to the top of the prison, becomes prison king.
I'm just imagining like the prison level of the Mask, and there's nothing but giant posters of the Mask saying "Vote Prison King."
Yes, exactly. Oh man,
It's like prom
Um,
king.
yeah, they do it every year. And they kiss. I don't know, man. They maybe have a dance. See, that's the thing. I don't watch enough prison stuff. So anyway, John, you still have to justify this pick.
No, I don't. I picked it. I already picked it.
Is it like is the soundtrack just like a straight 1-to-1 of like the movie soundtrack? Is it just all chiptune versions of like Tony, and Harry Connick Jr.?
Yeah, it's basically. I mean, it's not direct ports of any of those songs, direct compositions or whatever, but it's
Should be.
It is big band swing One thing that was disappointing is the overall volume of the music of that game is kind of low. Like
Wow.
so as you're playing it, you can actually kind of barely hear it, and there's actually some pretty interesting music in there.
That would be kind of
important-
disappointing.
The
I've
most
seen Tony,
important
Tony.
thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I was just going to ask: is there a chiptune version of Cuban Pete?
I don't think so. No, I'm pretty sure they didn't.
What is the
actually
point
do-
of having this soundtrack?
It's over. Cut it. Jeez.
I was just gonna say I've seen Tony live before.
Hell yeah.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it?
I thought that
Yeah.
reference would fall on Johnny's deaf ears, but I'm so glad that Brent's here to pick that up. Johnny, again, you're in danger of being fired. Brent might join the show permanently.
I didn't think Tony,
He knows
Tony
who-
was a real band.
Yeah, they are. John.
Oh, as in-
Tony.
Yeah.
Feels good. That's their big hit. It feels good.
Yeah.
You know, it feels good.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know.
And it's not Tony, and Chuck Mangione. It doesn't feel so good.
Right. It doesn't feel.
it
It doesn't feel
feels-
so good. It
feels
just
good.
feels good. Yeah.
Exactly. This is some obscure '90s like jazz references.
Well, I mean,
That's gonna play great on
it feels so good. Feels so good. That's the '70s. That's some
70s, yeah.
'70s.
Yeah. I'm just
'70s jazz. Yeah.
I'm thinking
But-
Tony.
Chunk Mangione. He played the French horn.
Flugelhorn.
It's true.
Right, or flugelhorn, yeah,
Flugelhorn.
flugelhorn, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Flugelhorn,
Actually,
flugelhorn,
yeah.
yeah.
One thing you should know, Brent: do not step to Johnny on on jazz band stuff. Yeah. He'll fuck
Flugelhorn,
you
yeah.
up, dog.
With that flugelhorn, yeah.
Oh God. So anyway, I'm honestly flummoxed by this pick, but I think it's pretty it's really something, John. It's,
Yeah, I
it's
was
very
trying-
you.
I was trying
It's
to
just-
put that clue together, and I kept on thinking, okay, what mask? Think,
See,
and that's like obviously,
that's
yeah.
That's the beauty of Johnny's trivia. He'll sometimes say the name of the game inside the trivia.
Yeah.
Or
Ay.
I think it was when Johnny picked Donkey Kong Country, and his trivia was about this game featuring a banana counter.
Yes. Yes, he's the king of the giveaway trivia, not the prison king.
Well, you'd still have
But,
to guess between the three, you know. I mean,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
And see,
it narrows it down to three. So yeah.
that's where the music know-how comes in.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't just an entry-level show. You got to have some know-how.
Yeah, but then I think his final song was like Gangplank Galleon.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, if it's talk about a banana counter and play aquatic ambiance, it's Johnny's move. So Johnny, before we go, where does the mask rank in your Jim Carrey power rankings, and then send us to game 5?
Oh man, he's probably like, I don't know, number 3, something like that.
I mean, honestly, it's a little. It might be a little like overlooked movie at this point. It's a solid film.
Yeah. Coming
yeah.
up in July, 26th anniversary. Get ready.
Yeah, that's going to be on the Patreon, folks. Check out patreon.com/GameThatTune for a 26th anniversary of the Mask commentary.
Oh yeah.
Surely that's what Johnny's referring to. There's no other thing that could be.
Is our next poll just going to have all 4 options be the mask?
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
if I'm alive.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
All right.
Great game, John.
5.
All right, guys. So, based on all the research that I could do for this, this game is the only game, to my knowledge, to have been composed by both legendary video game music composer David Wise and legendary video game music composers Tim and Jeff Fallon. How is everybody feeling about that?
Wonderful.
Yeah, pretty good.
But
Good.
not great.
Let's see. Oh man, Jesse is he's presenting dick up. Johnny is
you
going
guys
dick sideways.
Purposely not getting. I mean, purposely.
What I don't know,
It's
I
not
don't. What I truly don't know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
shall
Okay.
dick.
Okay. So
It's
Yeah,
better than three
should
questions.
I wait for David or?
No, you can show yours.
Oh man. David says Battletoads and Battle Maniacs. He is sadly incorrect. Brent has the correct answer. This is Super Off-Road.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that
So
one.
I don't think David Wise actually did work on this, but I think if he is credited, my guess is that he's credited because maybe Super Power Off Road is related to the RC Pro-Am franchise, and which he did do the music to RC Pro-Am. So maybe there might be some tunes that were carried over from the original RC Pro-Am. Maybe I don't know.
Possible.
Maybe he did, but to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it was just Tim and Jeff Folan. And
Well, see, and that's the tricky part of my trivia. So the NES version has David Wise as a credited composer. The SNES version is the Fallen Brothers.
Yeah, and also, if anybody, go ahead.
I had to cross-reference those lists to make sure that was going to be worthwhile trivia, because I'm like, holy shit, they got two legendary composers for this shitty SNES racing game. Like, that's well done on them. Like,
by the way, and you know what? I want to say, I'm not entirely sure, but even though Tim is credited, I'm not entirely sure, but it's possible that only Jeff is the one who actually did work on it. Maybe I'm not saying that's for sure, but if you want to learn more about Tim Folan and David Wise, I interviewed both of them, not at the same time, but on the Legacy Music Hour. So
that would have just been what an experience that would have been.
It's on YouTube. If the interview portion, like we did, there's like a whole episode that was done for each of them. But if you just want to hear the interview only on YouTube, if you just search for my name, Brent WEINBACH, and you search for Tim Folan, you'll find that, and you also find the David Wise interview as well. And, we ask about all these things. Super.
I would say like
Awesome.
weird flex, but no, that's not a weird flex. That's a fucking amazing flex. That's awesome.
That's great.
Fucking A, man. Like I wish that video game music composers were paying attention to this show and maybe wanted to talk to us. Not that we would have anything really of substance to ask them. It would more be like, so tell us about working on Plock, man. That was pretty cool, huh? I love the guitars. It would not be actually, a very content heavy interview.
We did something very similar on the show. I had Tim Folan listen to the beach track from Plock.
Hell yeah.
And he kind of walked us through just, phrase by phrase through the track and kind of basically what he ripped off. He was like, I basically just ripped off a bunch of songs, and they're all in this. And he's like, okay, that's Stevie Wonder right there. And then
that's so fucking cool.
That's I don't know. This is that's Yes or whatever. I don't know.
Right, because I mean, I feel like maybe I listened to that at some point, because I feel like my knowledge of Tim Folan has changed over the years, where it's like, he's this prodigal fucking music composer, and then it turns out if you listen to interviews or anything with him, it's like he really just wanted to program computers to replicate the music that he liked in real life. So he's more of like a programmer, and it's like, how can I get this SNES sound chip to sound like shredding electric guitars? And he and his brother did that, and maybe his compositions they were just to flex that programming muscle.
Yeah. But I mean, look, he is one of the greatest.
Oh, of course, no question.
But he does admit to basically lifting a lot, or like kind of just emulating a lot of stuff that he liked, especially in that beat track, actually.
Still
I mean, that's a frequent motif in a lot of games. I mean, like, what is it?
Teenage Ninja Turtles.
You think of Street Fighter 2. Ken's theme is just it's a song from Top Gun. There's I don't know, more people better than I have listed out the references. What is it? Electman?
I was gonna say Electman is a Journey song, I think.
Yeah,
hell yeah,
that's what they say. I kind of don't know if it sounds too much like it, but yeah, Manami Matsume did that Electman, and I know that she was thinking like this is like rock. It's Rockman, so like she's thinking rock music. So maybe it does make sense to do Journey, but I don't know if it sounds too much like Journey. I mean, there's a similar melody there. But look, "Come Together" by the Beatles in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's definitely sounds like
it
that.
happens. Yeah.
That's definitely sounds like it.
And I mean, that's obviously Tim Follin's whole influence on like Super Off-Road. It's like, all right, well, it's I don't know, off-road trucks. Let's do some rock and roll music. Cool,
Yeah,
done.
I wonder
Like,
if I could pull up the info right now to see if he actually, because sometimes he's credited on games that only Jeff did music on, and I wonder if I can find that. But anyway, carry on.
while you're
talking,
looking, let me
I'll
talk
look
to you
it up. I'll
about
look
how
that up.
shitty of a rental Super Off-Road was. Like, holy fuck, man! Like this game. You look at the box and it's like, oh, cool. It's like an off-road Baja truck. You're thinking SNES. You're thinking F-Zero, Mario Kart. You're thinking, to a lesser extent, Kyle Petty's No Fear Racing, maybe. And you're just thinking of an SNES racing game, Mode 7, cool off-road shit. You're thinking Top Gear. And then, no, you get Super Off-Road. It's every track takes up one screen. And it's essentially a Mario Party minigame style race.
Well, when you describe it like that sounds awesome.
No, but that's the whole game, John. There's in Mario Party, there's 50 other mini games.
It's fun in Mario Party when you play it for 3 minutes. When that's all you have to play.
Right. No, if that's the whole fucking thing, like, and that from everything I remember, that's the whole fucking thing in this game. Like you're just going around dirt tracks and. You're controlling your car. There's 3 other cars on the track. You can play 2 players, not 4 players. No multi-tap. And you're controlling your acceleration, your left, right. And I think this game was counting on you to in terms of like making it hard. I think it was counting on you to kind of get like disoriented and forget which way to press on the pad. Like if the track starts at the bottom and then winds up and goes to the right and then goes up. I think it's hoping you'll press up instead of left to make that left turn in order to make it difficult. Because this game ain't difficult, man. It's fucking repetitive as shit. You do 5 laps on every track to a sick ass shredding Tim Follin soundtrack, and and
it was
it's like the epitome of like tricked you into renting this. Like it looks great on the box, off-road trucks, and then. No, this was like the perfect rental game. Like I don't want to play this for more than a night. I hope I had a coupon. Maybe a buy one, rent one, get one. But yeah, it's not the kind of game where like it's an RPG and you're gonna feel bad about lost progress. It's like it's like just looking at a diorama for a night.
Oh, you lost progress. Progress.
Listen, man, I was I was young and I didn't understand that time has value as well.
It was 2-player only,
to my knowledge. I mean,
why do I feel like you could have 3 players in this game?
See, I mean, because the SNES multi-tap was the thing, and because it came out on multiple systems, so maybe you're thinking of I don't know the Game Boy version. The arcade version.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the arcade version.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, look, I think we do ask him about this track, and I think he answers it. So listen to the interview to find out if he actually did it or not.
Perfect.
Yeah. Fandango was the name of that. Fandango is the name of that first track, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So, So anyway, I think we asked him in the interview, did you play this track or did you write this track? And so find out on an exciing episode of the Legacy Music. But I actually have a feeling he did not do it though.
You're really good with the plugs. You're going to make people listen to your podcast. It's very good.
I mean, it's worth listening to.
It truly is. That's why we have him on. I'm just saying that's the experienced veteran shit that we're looking for around here that we haven't quite mastered. But yeah, all the tracks just literally have the name of the music track pasted on at the bottom. So it's like Fandango, Sidewinder, Huevos Grande. Which I don't speak a whole lot of Spanish, but I do means eggs big.
Eggs big.
It translates very well.
Which I think it refers to balls, right?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Like big balls, or like yeah.
Talking about them.
So is
them
this like
huevos, the cojones?
that was my
like a
nickname in high
devilish
school.
time in or a devil crush time or?
See, I was kind of thinking Wings of War, but that's
yeah.
it's not. You don't really see the balls in that one. It's just the big dick boss. But really, I'm just I'm flummoxed by these games. Like I just don't get like how guys like Tim and Jeff and like David Wise like escaped composing for such shit games. Like they just. David Wise, you see interviews with him, he talks about like programming sounds into a glorified doorbell, and he just wants to make the tunes he wants to make, and he's stuck making just like Rare, whatever Rare throws his way. And Tim Fallon, I mean, is there a single good game that he actually composed music for?
He has. There's some good games. It really kind of depended on the publisher, I feel like, for some reason. But Solstice is a good game. I liked it.
Solstice and Equinox to me are inscrutable. That's just not my tempo.
Sky Shark is good.
Sky Shark is pretty hard, and that was that was the Taito game. There's some other
that with the shoot 'em up territory, but you just think of like things obviously, like Pictionary,
and Pictionary, by the way, has great music. At least one of the tracks, Drawing Game, is one of my favorites. But there's probably some other Tim Fallon games. Well, Plock is actually a pretty good game. I mean, it gets too hard at a certain point, but
and it's strange and like not necessarily like inviting and user friendly. It's like, wait,
it's not.
So I'm a body and I throw all my appendages and like I can lose them.
It's not, but it's not like a terrible game. I mean, I would play it, although I couldn't pass a certain part of it though.
It's like Decap Attack.
Yeah. Decap Attack, which was the localization of the Magical Hat.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Mega Drive.
But it's just so funny that like we fucking love and revere these guys, and arguably their music was featured in like nothing of worth until like David Wise got on board with Nintendo, like until Rare got in with Nintendo. It's like once they got a wide audience. I don't know that Tim Fallon ever got that wide audience. Like none of his games were like the hits.
It's weird because. It's weird because Rare did a lot of games that aren't great, and those are usually the LJN games that they did, right? Mm-hmm. But they also did, they did good games like Slalom. Slalom was a pretty early game for Nintendo, and I mean Rare is almost kind of like a second party, and Slalom was good, obviously, and then there's debate as to whether or not Battletoads is a good game, but some people love that game. I think it's I think it's kind of flawed in that there should be infinite continues in a game that hard, but
no kidding.
I mean, it's like that game, because there are not infinite continues in Battletoads. It makes I've never beaten it because it's just I don't want to do it all over. You get really far in that game. You don't want to do it all over again because it's so hard.
You kidding me? I mean, it took me fucking decades to do the turbo tunnel. So
exactly. Yeah.
Once I lost in Surf City, it's like, okay, well, I'm good on that for a while. It ain't happening. But it's just so I don't know, strange to me seeing like David Wise's name with like all these just like jobber games. It's like, oh yeah, Captain Skyhawk and fucking God, I'm trying to think of something else that he did, like just Snake, Rattle, and Roll. All these games that I think of like as rental games.
Yeah, but there are Rare does have some good games. I mean, there are definitely some bad games, but there's some good games. And also, I feel like
and he had his breakthrough. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's a grab bag. It really is weird. Like I tried asking them this, but they didn't know the answer to this question, and I think that they wouldn't know the answer. But I wondered if the publishing companies gave them less money for certain, like if it was LJN, for example, I wonder if they gave them a really small amount of money to make a game, and that's why those games are poor in quality. And then meanwhile, if it was a Nintendo game, for example, they gave them a lot more money so they could dedicate more work to it and make it a better game. I wonder if it had to do, I tried asking that question, but I guess it's not really a question they would know the answer to, but
exactly. If they're not involved in the, like the financing of it all, then they probably don't know. They probably just get the request and
my guess is that is kind of what was going on, is that because the bad games seem to not be the developer, but they seem to be the publisher. And that's kind of weird, So I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with money. I don't know. They're like,
because
you want to give us $10
a bad developer.
Right? Yeah. You want to give us $10 to make Time Lord? All right. here's what you're going to get for that.
Yeah, exactly. But even a bad developer given the right tools eventually goes on to make a good game. Same with the music.
Bad games, I will bet you were primarily driven by date, right? Like they wanted to have it on store shelves in time for Christmas.
That's true.
that's-
Probably a lot of timed releases. I was trying to think of like licensed games and stuff. Like David Wise did Double Dare back in the day. They had to strike while that super sloppy iron was hot. They had to get it out. So you got to make like 20 seconds of music 10 times over, and that's what you get. He made a great version of the Double Dare theme song, though, so I'll give him that. I don't know. It's interesting. Just as guys that do this, this kind of podcast, thinking about like, these guys make such music that we love for fucking terrible games. And I try to give things a chance and not just like denounce them on sight, but Silver Surfer. I gave that the 5 minutes it deserved, and I don't know what went wrong. I don't know how they made a broken game with the world's best soundtrack in it. It's just strange to me. So I don't know. But anyway, So Super Off-Road, possibly the king of the jobbed out games because it got David Wise and the Fallons. They got that shred metal soundtrack for the SNES version, and the game, it's just a diorama, truck racing game. It's not excellent. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Like, as long as you can play it and hear that soundtrack, it's good. It's got a sound test. Go listen to that. I don't know if the sound test is ultimately worth the cost of the cartridge, but I can't imagine the Super Off-Road's terribly in demand. So I would think you could pick this one up. And this is, I believe, the first ever game featuring Iron Man. I'm of course referring to Ivan Iron Man Stewart, the Baja racer, who they thought was famous enough to put his name on this game for the NES version, and then dropped it by the time the SNES version came
Wait,
out.
no one knows who this guy is.
Yeah, nope, sorry, Ivan Stewart, you're out. People thought they were getting an Iron Man game. They got a bad Baja truck racing game, and that's why it took until 2008 to get an Iron Man movie. It's it's complicated. The Q score on Iron Man was fucked for a long time after that.
That's rated, but
David, I don't want any corrections on this comic book / Baja truck racing history that I've definitely fabricated myself. But cool game ish, great soundtrack. Shout out to all the legendary composers that worked on it, your Fallons and your Wises, and I think it's time, Johnny, to turn this game over to our calculating computer to see who's tonight's winner.
Calculating computer activated. Computers. Beeps.
George Lucas slamming his dick in
Scoring complete.
This game's winner is Brent WEINBACH.
Hey!
Wow.
It's a tie, though, isn't it? Wasn't
It
a tie?
is, but I just flip a coin and pick one when it's a tie.
Play Jesse's win jingle too. It'll make both of them happy.
All right, can do.
This game's winner is Jessie Moore.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Great game, guys. What a show. What a fantastic game you both played. Brent is now learning that we don't score highly on this show. This the show's batting average is pretty low on this kind of stuff.
I mean, we got. I mean, how many did I get? Two.
Jesse got two. Everybody.
So the top scorers got two. Wait, you got two too, didn't you?
I only got one. Everybody got at least one. It was a good night though. That's the thing. If nobody strikes out, it's a good night of game that tune.
2 out of 5 is not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm impressed I got one. 16-bit is not my strong suit.
Yeah, no. David jumped from NES to Nintendo 64, and this was not his episode. So
I did not.
Job.
I did not know the. I wasn't familiar with the Mass soundtrack. And I could have got it off that hint though. I should have just that's where I really flopped, you know.
I
But
said
Nah.
the masks in the.
yeah, I know.
Don't
that
rub
was
it
my
in,
biggest-
John. What's wrong with you? Jesus.
That was my
God.
biggest mess up.
This is our
But-
guest.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So fantastic show, and so we've got co-winners tonight, Jessie and Brent, and so I think it's only appropriate that the two of you powwow and pick a theme for next week's episode. So I'm just going to sit quietly until you guys
a
decide
theme.
what we're doing. Next week.
Well, why don't you do? I mean, what do you think, Jesse? I mean, it's your show.
So you're the guest. I don't know. I mean, you weren't planning a theme, so it's not on the spot.
But all our themes are done on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh,
How about all muscular? I don't know. They have to
muscular.
feature muscles. They have to feature muscles. All the games have to feature muscles.
That sounds fantastic.
I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
I
here.
love the way this man thinks, not
Yeah.
knowing that we've alady featured Muscle March, but I like
okay,
the
yeah,
way this
wow.
man thinks.
Or you could do something like, I don't know, like, I don't know.
Muscle
Games-
sounds
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, Johnny once tried to pitch games with vegetables as a theme. So like,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. You could do food,
you can go with pretty much anything you want.
food games. We did a food episode on our podcast. It was just all food based games.
Oh,
We
yeah.
do food games now.
No, and I mean, once you cross 200 episodes of a podcast, like how much do you really need a creative and awesome theme? Like you choose an object, you make a theme out of it. That's good. So, Jesse, it's up to you to verify. Are we doing muscle games?
I like muscle games. That sounds fun.
Hell yeah, dude!
I don't
Oh
know.
man,
Hopefully that works out.
weird flex, but okay. We're gonna do muscle games on next week's episode. Fantastic theme. What a great theme. That'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, man, what a show we've had tonight. Thank you, Brent, so much for coming on the show. We really, it couldn't have gone better. You fit fantasticly with this show. I'm not going to fire John and offer you his position right now, but down the road, I think
Check your inbox.
Yeah, exactly. Just if you get an envelope with a little bit of money in it, trying to convince you, maybe you want to jump in on this mix. Maybe we get to talking. But thank you.
If I get a copy of Super Off Road in the mail,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and a note that says, "Yes, I listened to your Tim Fallon interview." Man.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's really been a blast. And then all that's left is to say thank you everybody so much for watching. Thanks everybody joining us live. We're live every Wednesday night at 9. We're in our Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Find us at Game That Tune. Thanks everybody listening in podcast form. We're available on Tuesday mornings in your podcast device, so check us out there. Thanks to everybody checking out patreon.com/GameThatTune. We got a lot of fun exclusives there. We've got GTT Gems. We've got Jesse's Covered Up series. We've got movie commentaries, which we're letting you guys vote on, which is a severe miscalculation on our part, but we'll keep watching what you guys choose. Special thanks to the Patreon super fans: Alex Messenger, Lance Revere, Damian Beckles, Bradford Stevens, Daniel Perky, Chrono, Dominic Guy, Kellyanne, Taylor Y, and Sam L. You're all fantastic, and we appreciate everything you do for the show. Send us your requests, gamethattune@gmail.com, or hit us up in our Discord, or find us on Twitter at GameThatTune. You can find me on Twitter at JGangsta187. You can find John Regan on Twitter at
JP Regan Jr.
You can find David Fleming on Twitter at
DFD Fleming.
You can find Jesse Moore on Twitter at
Sega_legend.
And Brent, we can find you on Twitter, and I guess we should give you, as a professional podcast type person, some time to plug some stuff. So tell people where they can find you on Twitter and doing various professional comedy things.
So Twitter is Brent Weinbach. Instagram is Brent Weinbach Comedy. There's on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Brent Weinbach. Also, there's a lot of videos on there. And I have a comedy special if anybody's interested. It's on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. So, but if you don't, then it's probably only like $3 or something. But it's called Appealing to the Mainstream. And and then if I've mentioned it during the show, but the podcast that I do is called the Legacy Music Hour. It's a video game music
Maybe you've heard of it.
We focus only on 3rd and 4th generation video game music. We also do have a Patreon for that as well, which is patreon.com/Legacy Music Hour, where there's some bonus stuff. Like I do covers of video game music on piano and on that. And we've been playing through Broforce recently to get online together. So I don't know if you want to see that, but anyway, so there's stuff on there, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So Jessie and Brent, you guys get to decide who's playing the bonus tunes.
First, I'd like to highly recommend Pound House. It's really great. And
thanks. That's the web series I do with my friend Doug. Pound House. There's a playlist for that on my YouTube channel. So,
yeah, I've been watching. It's so good. But yeah, I didn't put bonus music in, so I'll let it fly to you.
Hell yeah, Brent, you got the outro.
Okay, well, this is a game that has not been played on your podcast before, I think, unless. You told me that it could be a cover or whatever. I didn't end up really going with anything too crazy. I just thought, you know what, Hitoshi Sakamoto. I thought why don't we hear a different game from Hitoshi Sakamoto? I think you heard him earlier, and this is from a game I did mention called Treasure Hunter G, which had 7 different composers on it. So there's a bunch of
nice.
The soundtrack's kind of all over the place, but the tracks that Hitoshi Sakamoto did, I really stand by. I think are really good, and this is one of them. This happens to be one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite Super Famicom, Super Nintendo pieces of music of all time, and it's the final boss music, and it's the title of the track is Emperor of Balladry, and this is just an amazing piece of music, I think, by Hitoshi Sakamoto from Treasure Hunter G. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Can't wait. Thank you for being here, and peace out, everybody. Ooh, now that's good final boss music.
That's what's interesting about it, too.
Very interesting.
But there was more to it.
Oh.
Faded it out a little.
Jeez, Johnny,
earlier.
of all the times to fade it out.
To be honest, that was the best part. Actually, that was the part you faded out on.
You offended the guest at the last possible second. That's fucking wild.
That was the best part of the track.
We'll fix that.
Okay. Oh, God. Devil's Crush is copyright 1990 Compile. Crusader of Centy is copyright 1995 Next Tech and Atlas. The Adventure of Hourai High School is copyright 1995 Dynamite. The Mask is copyright 1995 Black Pearl Software. Super Off-Road is copyright 1993 Software Creations and Virgin Games.